we've got Ivy in here. It seems like they've got a pretty solid draft from what our panel is saying. What are your expectations of this team?
Ooh, well, this is the, how do you put this? This is the type of team that has been kind of born through ESL's national leagues, right?
Yes.
So ESL, they used to run like a British national league. They run a German national league. They also did like India. I think they still do Australia or RCA. So this is very much like Ivy was a product of that kind of grassroots style tournaments. And now we get to see them, appear in the actual DPC. So my expectations are, I hope they survive the DPC season, but it's just great seeing them, this type of team get to this stage, right? It proves that you can, at a national level with your friends, your lads, actually grow to being, a competitive team within the region.
I mean, those are the kind of stories that we hope to see coming out of DPC, and it goes even further in this particular case. So that's pretty cool for sure. But yeah, again, we've got a couple people that are slightly more familiar for DPC, or just, names that we've seen, low skill we saw before on Metafoot Pro. And then, of course, Cube is one of those pub players that keeps popping up here and there as well. But Chicken Fighters, we've seen them as well. They've had a little bit of a shake-up recently with some of their new players. How do you feel that they're going to fit in here?
This was probably the most surprising shakeup for me, because Chicken Fighters, I always saw, my mind's gone blank. No, Charlie, there we go, the carry player.
Not
he
Charlie.
was always like, yeah, my bad. But like, he was like, or Aqua, that's why I forgot it. But he was like the consistent glue for that team. And now that he's moved over to Goon Squad, I am going to be a little bit interested in how like Coma fills such a large pair of shoes that, Charlie had in the team. So I think, unfortunately for Chicken Fighters, on paper, it does look like a kind of a downgrade in roster, just because of the fact that you have like a brand new 5 player who's rose from the pub scene, Bengun. He was ranked 4,500, I believe half a year ago. Now he's in the top 100. And then you've got Coma filling Charlie. So they're kind of a question mark, where they could either be, fresh new ideas, everything's unlocking, cool, or it's just a little bit of a downgrade from last season. Like, this is kind of the best series to show, because they're playing up against one of the, I say, weaker teams, because they were the 3rd team to qualify for this DPC, because there was 3 qualifier slots. So yeah, again, it's so difficult. Week 1, Moxie, like, what am I meant to say? Like, we don't know anything about these teams. It's been so long since they played anything.
I mean, I was just curious, because I know that a lot of these guys, too, they play in the pubs. You've run into them in your own games as well. So just interested to see, what insights you might have. But it's like our panel said earlier, the idea is, you want to see growth. You want to see these guys, how are they going to progress their story? Hopefully, they've got a lot more coming up for them, and they're going to, impress as time goes on, because that is, at the end of the day, the most important thing. Well, maybe not the most important. You wanted to win. But Max in the top lane here is struggling a little bit, and Zippy's going to be able to get that first blood.
Yeah, this is, they tried to pick this Juggernaut, this Razor to lane into Juggernaut, right? The idea that you had the link, but we didn't really mention it, but the laning set up from Chicken Fighters, they did put the Mars into the safe lane, allowing for that, the dodge of the Razor lane. And, Mars with the spear, you can spear him away from static link. It just works out. It just shows that Chicken Fighters entered this game with a little bit of a proactive mindset, thinking about the counters they're going into and how to assess it. And unfortunately for Ivy, they're now not really kind of maximizing their draft, especially in this early laning phase. But again, they mentioned it on the panel, but it's just the Chicken Fighters. It's a large amount of like, if they want to take a fight, they can win that one specific fight. But Ivy, they have so much skirmishing, an early BKB here and there. If they waste one of the big spells in Chicken Fighters, that's when they can look good. So early kills will look good for Chicken Fighters, but it's Ivy. They kind of control this whole kind of early portion of the bigger fights.
I mean, is some of that the top lane? No, looks like that he's going to be fine. He's going to be able to just walk away. But some of that is, dependent on just the experience, right? Because, it seemed like this draft looked very, very solid coming out from Ivy, but the utilization of it, maybe not quite the best way to do it. And they're going after Bengun here. Still fairly tanky, not going to be able to secure that kill, but I think that'll be very telling. Like you said, one bad BKB, a little bit too early or whatnot over on Ivy could end up costing them quite a bit. If they're not.
I've seen Chicken Fighters with, like, when they, of course, Zibe Mars, right? It's a classic. Like, the amount of times that we've seen them play Mars throughout previous tours, and it's like kind of the same thing that you said, but flipped. It's like that one bad arena or that one, that one hoop, it suddenly makes it super hard to fight. So I am really excited to see how Ivy plays as a team. Oh, as DP does die. My bad.
That's fine. I look at Benga. He wants his final hit here. Luckily, Moby, he figured that he was probably going to go down a little bit of a turn, though. He did at least get that experience coming off and as well.
I mean, you're a Viper player, right? You're just happy getting the kill. You just want to annoy Supreme as much as possible.
Keep it pinned over to the tree. Gonna take a little bit of punishment here. They do have the lift coming out from Era, but not quite the damage they don't want to fully commit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, laning-wise, I think the biggest downside here is the fact that this Juggernaut is a little bit sacrificed. You know, being level 3, nearly 4, compared to low skill, 4 and a bit. This is going to be the biggest kind of answer. It's like Zibbe's having a decent time top because he's out into the Razor, but it's this Juggernaut who's he's going to farm lane and probably utilize the DP early on, get the ultimate, swing on in, take a tower. But this Ember being top net worth, that's the type of hero that you want to just pivot into the game and just unlock your game.
Ooh, a little bit off the mark though with the spear. Kipe holding Era into place. Was trying to go for Zibbe, I'm pretty sure, but he's going to turn back around, chase him, and Kipe's going to survive this. Unfortunately, Era will fall.
This top lane's so annoying. It's like, you have lift for cogs, but if you just constantly just run at them non-stop, right, you get the slow from stuff, it doesn't feel that good. Like, you can rebuttal one aggression, but as long as like Ivy doesn't overcommit their spells, maybe they bait out the spear or they bait out a lift, they're just going to non-stop run, especially when creeps are on the tower. So yeah, no, so far nice solid start from Ivy. Nothing too crazy's happened, but that's kind of what they need, right? You chill, you get the BKB Razor Ember with some Deso or whatever. Whoop,
we got the triple gank here over to the mid lane with the exorcism, so it's going to be a very dead Moby. They'll get the kill on Era. Kipeto has to be careful, does have the cogs up. Looks like he'll be able to make it out, but the ghost dancing around him, removing some of that HP for sure, as they put some pressure on the tower.
And I have actually played with Cube in a national tournament, the ESL one. Mm-hmm. And I know he's a very greedy lad. So right now he's probably telling Moby, don't worry, that's really worth it. Clockwork, probably not the best here in the game, but if I get a couple levels early on, we're looking good. So he's probably, putting some diplomacy out there in the team, maybe offering up Viper a couple more times, because clock early on, you catch the Dawnbreaker, suddenly you can't ult into the engagement. If you jump onto the Mars or a Jug, defensive reactions are required, and that doesn't allow them to then jump into the fight. So Clock's an awkward hero, but if you propel yourself into the game, it can be quite annoying.
Top lane here, just chasing down low skill. They had the stun, they had the spin. They need a little bit more damage. The slight though comes out. They're gonna try to turn it back around a little bit, but looks like they're just gonna save low skill here, salve him up, and bring him right back into lane.
Yeah, he's gonna be leeching for level 6 there. Get some mana, then he's just gonna TP Remnant back. So not too bad there for Ember. Oh, look, cheeky little high five.
It's just going to be annoying poke around here. It's thrown out. Does have to be careful. The Zibbe on his way over has the arena. It's just going to be patient here. Bash back. Couple more hits. Just need one more to get the kill, and they'll be able to get it. Was hoping for that denial, I think. The spin, though, bottom lane. They'll get the kill on low skill. Vincento. It's going to be a little bit careful here as well, but we'll be able to Kyuchi away to safety.
Yeah, super awkward there in the bot. He still hadn't hit level 6, so he was like slowly creeping up to the wave. He actually had a double wave pushing in, so he wasn't really getting the XP. And then yeah, just instantly jump before he gets it. But, yeah, not what you really want for Ember. I know all the action's happening in the side lanes right now.
I mean, you say that, but we've seen the gangs coming out to the mid lane.
That's true.
Lots of heroes making their way.
Big old 3-man rotation, yeah.
They've got wards, though. They see he's coming. And like you said, with Cupid, especially, this is, from what I understand, his Clockwork and his Pudge are like his two big heroes, right? So this is a player that definitely, understands the value of just being active and also finding those levels so he can put that pressure on the map.
Yeah, very much. Cupid, he's the Pudge, the Rubik, the Clockwork player, and yeah, he's always just trying to just be a little bit annoying. If he can get some farm, he happily will, but he naturally will just kind of gravitate around the map, just try and be, a thorn in their side.
We're moving here to this mid lane. Looks like they're going to put some more pressure over onto Mobai. Pull forward here. Bengen trying to find the opening. Look at the lift off. Nice ton coming out, although Max falling in the top lane. Those cogs holding into place. It's not looking too healthy, though. He'll fall Supreme to fall immediately after. So both the mid laners falling. And the ultimate getting dropped from the Death Prophet during this engagement. Looks like they're going to try to go after Vicento. They'll find that kill, so it's a double kill here for Era. Will propel him forward.
Yeah, you can see how Chicken Fighters are taking this right now. They're playing super active in the side lanes, but when DP has their ultimate, they're bringing both supports mid. They're trying to kill off the Viper, because traditionally DP just pops ult, you force rotations, you try and take the tower, right? But if you overwhelm that part of the map, get the kill, you can try and take the tower. So Chicken Fighters, they're not going to be too happy right now, just because they want to kill the Viper, keep DP alive, then pressure that tower, take down that mid-tier 1, unlock the map to make some more moves, maybe a couple of arenas here and there. But the fact that Ivy are able to rebuttal this mid-aggression time and time again, keeping the tier 1 alive, trading off a Viper, he's top not worth. It doesn't really matter too much. So again, you can see Chicken Fighters trying to use their big cooldowns, but yeah, Ivy reading it well enough. It's awkward trades, people are dying, but overall it's still kind of like a net win for Ivy now, because they are keeping the towers alive.
We do have the level 6 online now for the Dawnbreaker, so might be able to see some sort of gangs happening, or just the big team fights having a large impact with that Solar Guardian.
Yeah. Dawn support's kind of the hero where we saw Milan on Quincy Crew, where he would go for the Holy Locket, the Ag style of build, where he's always in position to wait for that aggression, wait for that jump, and when you overcommit with your kind of utility, you then drop down the ultimate, you get the evasion, the healing, you're just kind of keeping them alive, then you enter the fight with a stun and a couple slows. On a position 5, these items aren't probably going to be coming as quick, so maybe we see a variation of the build, but most likely we are going to see eventually the same items.
Solar Guardian dropping down in, Benkin joining in. They'll be able to take down Max. Tenso's not looking too comfortable over here on the side, but has dipped a little bit further into the woods and felt like, they really wanted to make something happen up in this top lane, but they weren't anticipating Benkin to join up.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's the strength of Dawnbreaker, right? You see, kind of the story of the game so far for this Razor is trying to annoy whatever core is in this lane. But he died solo during that mid engagement that we were watching. And then again here, he comes in, but it's suddenly, a 1v3, not too great for the Razor. So net worth-wise, what is it, 3.7k? An offlane Razor, if you don't keep up with farm and kind of presence, you can soon become quite a creep. So we have to look towards the Razor now. What's his next move, right? And ideally, connect up with the Viper, connect up with Clock plus, Weaver, and just take an engagement together. Right now, it's a lot of, independent fighting.
Woo, that was
beautiful.
Yes. My goodness. Stop
just got deleted.
Jungle having a little bit of a skirmish here. Cupid just continues to be annoying. But yeah, I was not expecting him to pop like that. Good lord.
It's like the Reddit clip of Sumail. I think he was playing Morphling. He walks to mid-tier 2, and a Drow Ranger, literally blinks, and 0.1 second later did 1,800 damage. Same scenario there. Poor old Ember. Does go down.
Yeah, low skill having a little bit of trouble here in this this bottom lane. Every time he's made a rotation too, it felt like he's been having more difficulty on top of that.
Yeah, and if you see his itemization as well, we're going for a Battle Fury. Ember's traditionally in the safe lane, you often pivot for more earlier damage, like Deso, BKB style, when you try and take that great fight, but not this time.
Omni Slash going to use the mid lane, probably to buy a little bit more time for Coma as well, but be able to survive that attack over mid, drop down that healing ward, and get right back up there again. Bottom lane though, it's getting taken with the Exo.
Bot lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice moves from Chicken Fighters. It's that constant kind of poke and prod, where if you kind of force one jump on Ember, the Clock to kind of show himself, it unlocks the rest of your team to make the moves elsewhere. And right now for Ivy, sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, which happened first though? Was the Exo popped in the bottom lane first, or was the opportunity built off of the fact that they made that move over on the mid lane?
It was, I'm going to throw down just a cheeky old coincidence card.
Okay.
It's just, they Exo bottom as they went middle, and they're probably we wish we were probably bottom right now. Oh well, let's try for mid. It's just kind of the good old classic thing in Dota. You go for one thing, suddenly something else happens, but you're kind of already committed to that kind of area of the map.
Right. Get a little vision over here on the side. Haven't really seen Clockwork being super pressuring just yet, considering that he does have the ultimate up and ready.
I think that's just kind of Ivy in general right now. You know, like they've done pretty okay at the defensive reactions at the towers and DP. Maybe not the bottom tier 1, but them trying to find kills isn't really happening because, you know, Ember, he's been stuck. I say stuck. He's only played bottom for pretty much 12 minutes of the game. Yeah. Viper's only played mid/jungle, so they're not being that proactive. Whilst Chicken Fighters here, you know, they're smoked up.
Yeah, they've got a ward, they've got an arena, they've got a spear, they've got everything they need for a kill for Supreme. So that vision paying off over there near the. Oh, they left their courier. Oh, ooh. Oh no.
Luckily, that's not like the final piece of the puzzle for the Battle Fury. You know, like we're two-fourths of the way through, halfway there.
Ooh, the hook shot coming in from Kipe. Follow up Solar Guardian, gonna land back in and make them think twice here about making the moves on Goma. And that's a Battle Fury completed now for the Juggernaut. So one of these heroes at least has that Battle Fury up and running, but definitely.
I'm just a little bit surprised by how, like, the start of this game felt pretty okay for Ivy in the construct, where they had Ember, you know, top CS doing well bottom, but he never made that kind of move where, like, if this was, for example, last tour, we would see players like Matumba Man on the carry jump to mid lane instantly, like when he's like level 6, 7 or whatever, utilize his mid having an okay time, and then you'd like take that great fight, catapults go for mid, right? Because they've not made these moves, Chicken Fighters now have that confidence to move from tower to tower and just do whatever they want right now.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Matu doing it, but again, we have to go back to the fact that, you know, these guys, I don't want to say the new kids on the block because you know, they've been playing for quite a while, but it's one of those situations where experience might come into play, right?
Yeah, a little bit, and I think
they're trying to get that last.
I just want to see Zippe. You're gonna get it.
No one got it. Radiant did just in general. Yikes.
But so, for example, like I can see with this draft from Ivy, it's when they're a team that plays in the national leagues.
Ooh, that's a lot of things are happening. They use the exorcism. They use the storm that they have stolen. Arrow though is going to fall. And they're going to chase after Kipe here. They took down Max already. They're hoping for one more, and that's a double kill for Supreme.
But it's just two of them, right? Like it's just kind of the.
Oh, okay. BKB getting popped
BKB
here from Mobai. There's out the Viper Strike, but they just don't have anything to hold them into place. They're just allowed to walk away. I don't think you really want to fight into a Death Prophet, even though the Exorcism is just ending, but that's not really where you want to be fighting there. Not at that time, not without the numbers, and not while that's up.
Yeah, and it's a product of this top Dire ward, right? Like you mentioned it earlier. Like this ward here, it's allowing the greediness of this Razor to constantly get picked off. And we're seeing how, like, Viper just had a BKB timing, but Razor dies. Viper, sorry, then gets picked off middle, has to show off his BKB. Don't embarrass me, Moxie. I pronounced it wrong.
It's fine,
but then there's like they're not doing things together. Like I don't know what to say really. It's just if they just put one move, one smokers 4 or 5, allow Ember to farm behind because he's not having a great time. Sure, he's got the Battle Fury now, but one move to punish an Exo, force an Exo on the defensive side of the map, force a Dawnbreaker up, quick reset, then go again. But right now, like, I'm just excited to see Ivy's first move, and I hope it's not too late where they run on in and then just get absolutely wombo combo down, because they're kind of, you know, maybe 5 or 6 minutes away from this maybe happening. But we got the Razor BKB soon. So like this next, like the next 3 to 4 minutes from Ivy, I gotta see them make a move together. I gotta see them just use the BKBs and just kill off a core instantly. You know, jump, slight. They don't really have burst, to be fair. I mean, instantly as in over 10 seconds of damage?
No, definitely. I can definitely see what you mean by that, but it is very much, you know, especially for this Death Prophet, is probably very happy with the fact that the burst is not quite there yet, considering. But I like the way that Kipe is, like, he's making his way, like, around the Dire jungle. He realizes that they're invading quite often. He's just kind of putting his body there and giving them the numbers. And like we said, with the hook shot, now we're making this move, we get the kill, and Ivy's just going to try to back out. Although it's a bit here, nope, already just able to go and remnant away using the Ember. So that is exactly what Ivy needed. That wasn't even a full 10 seconds, I don't think, T.
No, yeah, luckily it was a little bit quicker, because if they did take a full 10 seconds, probably a couple would have died. And but like, this is like, they had the Ember there. They had the cores with the heroes.
All right, they missed the spear, but they still have the lift. They still have the numbers. So that's a dead keeping.
That's the greed coming through that I mentioned earlier. You know, he see wave, he hit wave. If you want to kill him, you got to go for it. But yeah, no, Ivy, I hope like that one moment of getting a kill, like they got the Dawnbreaker, which was like the perfect pick-off, right? It's the idea that that is the hero that will always jump in when you initiate. So if you catch him first, there isn't that innate save unless they're positioned correctly. But again, Chicken Fighters, they don't really care. They group up and they're just going to walk down lanes. SMY now complete for Juggernaut. Shouldn't have, Ivy should probably be a little bit scared. This, their timing is just surviving now, right? Like their ability to take aggressive fights with BKBs is kind of gone a little bit. So yeah, they need to be really smart with how they enter a fight, because again, like the panel mentioned, there's so much team fight on Chicken Fighters where if you get put into a choke point, a spear caught off guard pre-BKB, you are just going to die.
I mean, is it feasible to continue to just move around and do like a little bit of a hit squad? Because you're a bit behind as well, right? On the side of Ivy, they need to get that farm, but like you said, if they're forced into a big team fight, it's just not going to go well.
Yeah, it's just not ideal. Until Ember has, maybe Deso, and then he himself can start poking, chipping, and then once they see a hero at half HP, they can commit, try and go for that pick off. But it's kind of a matter of time, because again, Ember he's mode farm for quite some time actually, and we'll see it soon. I say that actually, I just clicked on him. He's not near the Deso. Yeah. We're like 5 minutes away from a Deso. Actually, 4 minutes. I keep just saying minutes now. I don't know why this is my new thing.
New catchphrase.
Randomly throwing time around.
Tea time. There you go. You can throw that on there too.
Branding opportunities. All right. I like it. I'm just trying to say as many things as possible to annoy Fogged, who's in the green room. I just want to say, like, for example, I could start talking about Warlock. Like, Weaver getting picked off, also not great. But Warlock, I want to start, and then I want Fog just for a small millisecond to grimace that I even mentioned Warlock.
I could see that, actually. I could actually see him just making that small grimace, but... that one of the
if they had Warlock, they'd lose quicker, Moxie. That's the narrative here that I was trying to get at.
It's not often that you hear your analysts say, they should have picked this because then they'll lose quicker. But
I don't want them to lose quicker. I'm a big fan of Cube. He's a nice lad.
Exactly. So again, force step over to the bottom area. Era though with that Shikuchi, they'll use the BKB over Mobai to try to put as much damage as possible here. The break coming into play. They will end up losing Mobai though, and Zibe, he's ticking down a little bit, but not nearly enough. Era. Got that Shikuchi like we talked about. BKB popped over here on Max. Preem with that double damage, looking to do whatever he can here, but nothing to cancel out that teleport. So it's like low skill, understanding what's going on. It's pretty scary for him to go anywhere near this. I think he just needs to back off, although you do have Keeping nearby. So perhaps they're going to try, now that the X is down, still have the double damage though over on Supreme. They've got the Solar Guardian. Just in case if necessary, just keep sliding, trying to get any information. Final hit coming through. It's gonna be Skoma picks up the Aegis here, and Kipe now running for his life. They've got the hand, just gonna chase him down, give a couple taps over to him. But over on the side, Era, it's been held into place. The chains, he's going to fall. Throw out that Faye grenade. They'll even throw down though, using the arena. So Chicken Fighters very, very happy after that.
Yeah, Chicken Fighters did. Pause into one. Okay.
All right.
But yeah, that was a beautiful example of Chicken Fighters just punishing, just mispositioning. Ivy haven't really kind of put themselves in a position of a team being ready to fight. And Ivy, the Viper, Mobai, he's hitting this mid tower, but no one's able to back him up, just a clockwork.
That's a little bit of an issue.
A pause on pause.
Oh, pause on pause.
Yeah, we're going back through. Here we go. So it's just the idea that I've said it already, but Ivy hasn't yet made that moment where if they offer up a hero, if there's people behind, then maybe they can take the fight, but they're lacking the damage in their draft right now to do that. So they're offering up kind of one hero at a time, which isn't really a winning formula. And Chicken Fighters instantly identify that. They go on the Viper, they kill him off, they go to Roshan. Then you're seeing this Ember trying to like steal the Aegis, because of course Clock, Ember, probably two of maybe the best heroes, or at least top 5 heroes in the game to steal an Aegis. But you know, Chicken Fighters once again in position, rebuttal that. So yeah, Ivy, they're kind of they are aware that they can't really take that full-on fight, and it's why they're trying to be more kind of split on the map. But when a team just identifies how scared their opponent is, they are just going to move from the key movements, right, to objective. And with Aegis advantage, even though it's only 4k net worth, it does feel like so much more, because how you enter a fight, Chicken Fighters is just be there, enter, kill.
Was that necessary in terms of them like trying to fight for that Aegis after they, you know, they only had 2 people available? Because like you said, they are good heroes to be able to contest, but hold that thought. We have an initiation. We have a BKB being dropped for the first time over on the backlines. They're also putting the pressure over onto Dawnbreaker, so she can't quite find the opening into the fight. They'll get low skill right off the bat. Couple hits on the tower. Max is very focused on the fight. Keeping that not looking too good. He's gonna get siphoned down. Double kill though with the spin coming up from Koma. And they're hoping they can get their hands on anyone else. Ooh, that spear very close over on the side.
Yeah, tickled. And this is yeah, Ivy running into the fully online draft of Chicken Fighters. They go for the fight, but surprisingly as well, like Juggernaut, he Omni Slash killed the Ember. Like normally you see little dodges and stuff, but yeah, when Ember overcommitted, instantly killed off. So yeah, Chicken Fighters, this is very much their game to slowly move around and take the map. And if you're Ivy, you're probably looking at trying to split the map a little bit more, get it a bit more open, throw Ember aggressively into like the dire jungle, force Chicken Fighters to try and catch them, because catch-wise, Chicken Fighters, they are relying on lift, spear, and maybe a silence. So Ember, with the right items, he can be so aggressive in split pushing that it could buy time for the Razor, the Viper, these heroes to kind of become more into the game. But we are a little bit a ways away from that even occurring, but that's probably the direction Ivy will be going, because if they keep throwing themselves into the 5-man of Chicken Fighters, they are probably going to get wiped.
Oh, this is not good here for the Viper. He's just getting slammed on, and it's no surprise to anyone that he falls here. As now He's just getting chased right into the base. Ghost, can't even hook shot out. 2 down on the side of Ivy.
You know, creeps coming in top in about 3-4 seconds time, so yeah, they're going to be easily able to do this. Buybacks are available, but it's already way too late. Like buybacking TPS, whatever. Like this is a lost Rax. They have to accept that.
Definitely do, especially when you consider that they still have the Aegis online. It's just too hard, and it almost felt like some of these pushes, like into the tower, into these like little ganks that they were setting up, felt like very desperation moves almost.
Yeah, it does happen in the game. I feel like most people can kind of feel what happened to Ivy so in this game. It's the idea that something doesn't go their way, and the natural response is do the move that you should have done when you died before, right? But that move isn't the correct move now, because things have changed in the game, and we're kind of seeing that from Ivy, where it's like they play super split, they farm quite a lot, Razor dies 2 or 3 times, and then after that, it's like those moves should have just been 3-4 heroes together, make a kill. And then when they do that, they've already allowed Chicken Fighters to get a Yules on the DP, get the, you know, SMY on the Juggernaut, or a Blink on the Mars, all these kind of active items, and then Ivy just falls victim. So it does feel like they are not adapting quickly to the current game at hand, whilst they're still just trying to do what the heroes were drafted to do, unfortunately. But again, this is the product of going for a fully skirmishing style of lineup. If you don't get those early skirmishes, you don't really have the tools in your draft to make these games feel like they have like that big comeback potential, especially against teams that are just, you know, seasoned DPC teams that are just going to kind of understand the way to victory and just follow through. So yeah, I think right now for Ivy, it is they need to kind of hope that Chicken Fighters make that deep dive, make that over aggressive play, because they have the damage. If Chicken Fighters are like horrendously out of position, and you know,
the fact that you had to use horrendously is not a good sign, though. Like,
I mean, I don't want to be the guy that tries to give hope. You know, I'm just gonna, you know, Just say it how it is. You know, it's pretty dire for Ivy.
Well, one light of hope here is the fact that the Aegis did just get reclaimed, so Koma needs to be a bit careful. He's going to chase after the BKB popped over onto Max. They're going to try to give a little bit of chase. Did stab some of that damage. So Bengen needs to be careful as well. But the Omni Slash coming in hot here. Is it going to be enough, though? Yes, they'll be able to take down Max. Yubei really far in. That's the spin to win. Razor's going to buy back now over on the side. But he's not looking too healthy. He's just getting chipped away. The clicks come out. He will fall. The Ghost Ladies dancing around will be able to get Vincento. And they're just going to keep on going here. Lots of damage over onto the Rax. Zibe's just this wall, this force just separating from everyone else. And Blink forward from Supreme with the silence. They're going to follow up with the Solar Guardian, slamming down. And they'll just continue to put out the damage, hitting the Rax at the same time. Spirit Siphon over onto Mobai. He's going to chase after Supreme. He may have gotten a little bit too far. Nice force step forward, though. We'll be able to buy a bit more time again. Do have the Yules to turn back around. Koma chasing it. They want this kill on Max. Can they get it? He's just so slow. Even with that essence ring. Koma needs to be careful, though. Again, maybe going a bit too far. Has a spin, has that healing ward up. Zibby continues to be that wall, putting his body forward. Does have to be careful, though. He's starting to sit a little bit low, and that's exactly what will happen if you overstay your welcome, as Zibby does eventually fall to the poison here from Mobai.
I mean, he had to go down at some point. Zibbe was being way too cheeky in that fight.
Yes.
The way, like, he's positioned in front of the Rax, like, animation and cancelling his rebuke, like, oi, come on, have me, come on, have a bit. But then, you know, whew. Zibbe has, over the last, I think, year or so, he has kind of grown a lot in confidence, especially within how he plays in Dota, how he kind of conducts himself in interviews. So you're seeing it here as well. It's got a bit of that bravado kind of shining through. Maybe one day, or maybe in the series it might bite him, but so far, you know, they're winning. It's gonna look good. Penguin does die though. Bye-bye.
It's a nice light coming out. They also marked him with the Fae Grenade as well, so had the vision. But yeah, no, like you said, it's one of the situations. I mean, you know, we joke about horrendously being out of position or whatnot, but that is something that happens with some of these, you know, the lower div teams are starting to get too much bravado. They're feeling too good. They're like, there's no way we could possibly throw this. And then all of a sudden they take a fight where maybe they're just a little bit too forward, or they're just, you know, feeling a little bit too untouchable.
But for Chicken Fighters, they've already set themselves up in such a way that they have this insurance policy where, you know, going bot, they get a tier 3 and a melee Rax, right? They're going to feel good. In their minds right now, they have two options. It's wait for next Roshan, go for the Megas, or just take another fight and see what happens. But realistically, again, they should wait for the Roshan. They have the time for it. It is going to be respawning pretty soon. It might respawn in 7 seconds. We'll see if it's a quick one. But yeah, for Chicken Fighters now, reset, wait, get Roshan, go again. Because Ivy, it's not as if they're suddenly going to be smoking across the map. They do need to be able to push out the top lane because, you know, the creeps being there, big indicator that they can't make any moves. So that's why Chicken Fighters are, you know, moving with such confidence across the map.
Yeah, this map control is very, very serious when you consider the fact that you're waiting for the Roche. Like you said, they can't make this play. They realize, you know, yes, that's definitely the next thing that Chicken Fighters wants to wait for, just to ensure that they get the most optimal fight coming forward as they finish cracking the base. But now, on top of everything else, you also have the... You've got the, I think the Ag Scepter just got picked up for Weaver. Yeah, he did. So, you know, a little bit of an insurance policy for themselves, but Weaver's got to be very careful in that positioning too, that he doesn't get picked off before he can actually get it off.
So this is a pretty cool smoke because they have that Radiant Ward in the top jungle of Dire. They are kind of understanding where people are. So they're using that. They see Bengen. This potentially could be a pickoff. Dawnbreaker naturally just playing by himself. Yeah, luckily the Weaver with a full toolkit of stuns is chasing him.
Look at that scan, dude. They just found him. Yeah. Everybody's like, nope, nope, nope. Everybody leave the jungle. They do find the courier, though, so that's a Ghost Scepter for Era.
That was a 50-50, to be fair, right? Bengen, if he's greedy, he moves up, he will die. If he goes back to base and respects the potential smoke, he goes. So again, it's just reading the map, Chicken Fighters. When you see the top wave and the bot wave literally at the Radiant base, naturally that's their smoke. So yeah, just reading the minimap, understanding that threat is around. And for Ivy, you know, it's 40 seconds to the next Roshan. They should be aware it's going to be respawning soon. And if they maybe get the jump, if they maybe catch Chicken Fighters slightly off guard, killing off, you know, maybe the Rubik. I'm saying maybe a lot of times here, by the way, because there are so many factors that have to go right for Ivy to maybe win a fight.
I'm waiting for you to call Mobai maybe now at this point, like just because we're, you know, got it in the brain.
I've been calling him, wait, Mobai. Oh, I even know it's Mobai.
You're the one who told me, because I messaged you. I was like, is it
the Weaver told me.
Or?
The Weaver said, yo, well, he didn't message me, I messaged him.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, how do I pronounce
It's definitely
Mobai?
a B.
And I thought it was Mobi, but it's not, it's Mobai.
Mobai. Yeah. They'll go for a smoke play though. All right, they'll find Kibe over here on the side. Nice pin to the one tree that exists over there. The buyback comes out though. Kibe doesn't want to just be sitting out of this as Max following up with Vicento. They've got Zippy. Can they do enough damage? The BKB is going to come out. Omni Slash on top of everything else. Just grouping them together tightly. They've already got the BKB. Good hook shot though over the back lines. We'll be able to take down Zippy, and they're going to buy back down Vicento. Zippy also buying back, but there's so much damage with these ghosts swirling around. They'll get the kill on Mobai. They'll find Max, and Era will fall as Supreme's hunting, trying to grab anyone else they can. Lowe's still already throwing out the remnants, just going to zip away. Not sure if they're going to be able to grab anyone here left.
Yep. Instant D will
Oh gosh, yeah, they're still chasing after Cupid over there. Supreme. Very happy with that. So that's going to open the door for Roche very easily. They don't have to worry about anybody kind of messing with them.
The door is now wide open. You're going to get an Aegis again for Chicken Fighters. And I think now all we're looking for is good old Embersphere. If you look at his quick buy, he understands the situation he's in. Rapier time, potentially. And I mean, there is a slim chance that if Chicken Fighters with this Aegis get super aggressive, go past the tier 3s into multiple slides, we could be seeing some cool, Daedalus Rapier action happening. But yeah, Chicken Fighters, they punished the aggressive positioning of Ivy. They were fully aware that they were there the entire time because of this top and bot wave pushing in. And then they just buy back on the key heroes and quite cleanly win the fight.
I mean, we've got some massive upgrades coming out too. Death Prophet did pick up that X Shard, but we have a full Aghanim Scepter now online for the Dawnbreaker too.
Yeah, when you're playing 5 support, when your team takes early buildings and obviously multiple Roshans, it really helps your economy. So we mentioned, is he going to get the items? When you've taken this many towers, then yeah, it's going to naturally appear. He has Force, he has Ags, he's loving it. Of course, he bought the 4-star for the Razor and the Clockwork, double effectiveness. Just get disconnect from both of them, and then the Ags.
Good hook shot though coming up with Cupid, but again, they can just move away here very, very easily thanks to Rubik having that telekinesis and being able to use it on his allies. Yeah. It's an Ag Scepter.
We're not really mentioned it at all, but Aero on his Rubik is just super consistent with his saves. He has the Aether Lens, he has the Shard for his telekinesis. Like time and time again in every fight, the cores of Chicken Fighters are kind of offering themselves up, and then again, reset. Come back to me. I'll lift you back to the team. And yeah, I think Era has just played a really nice, a clean Rubik game for the saves in which he's provided. Oh, the fake back smoke. A Dota classic here.
Vincenzo is a little bit far out here. Has to be careful. Already used the time lap though. They follow up with the Yules getting into plays here. BKB coming out on Supreme. They're just going to melt Vincenzo as they chase after QB. Does have that Ghost Scepter online though. So they're just going to slowly, nope, they'll be able to get the final hit. Nah, Mobai will fall. QB barely alive during all of this. But the Ghosts are up. They do have the Rapier online. The question is Chicken Fighters going to make the same error that they did in the first time that they've really broken to this ground where they dove a little bit too hard? It feels like they've learned their lesson. It feels like they're a little bit more disciplined. Look at Zibe here. He's not throwing his body so far forward this time around. They realize, they've got the Aegis on Jug. Supreme's got a couple ways to, stay alive.
It's just not really doing any damage, is it, right? It's got a Daedalus and a Rapier, but they've got Healing Ward and Armor.
Yeah, they have a lot of ways to just save. Like, look at this. That's going to be a very dead Max. Max buys back into the Kibe here. The Ghost Scepter buys him just a little bit more time, but it's not looking good for him as they fall. But Solar Guardian slamming on them. And they're just going to keep sliding, but they just can't seem to do a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, they called the GG. Chicken Fighters, they understood the assignment. And they made their way into this mid-game very convincingly. What do you think, T?
Yeah, I think at the very start, mentioning the roster of Chicken Fighters, what they were and what they've become, and I think